Today's episode is brought to you by Destiny's Accessories, located inside of A.V. Lopez at 3831 Boca Chica Boulevard in Brownsville. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 4. Destiny Accessories has all the phone and tablet accessories you need, including chargers, screen protectors, wallets, clips, holsters, pop sockets, cases, and much more. Welcome back to Paranormal 956. My name is David. As always, I am here with Bianca.
Hi, guys.
AKA DJ B3.
Oh, it's going to be every episode?
I think so.
All right, sure.
It's going to be the new thing. We're going to build this up.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, Bianca?
Acid.
Acid.
As in drugs or acid?
Acid as in drugs in relations to Ricky Casso.
Who's that? The creator? Sponsor?
He is the Acid King.
Oh.
So recently we talked about our new category, the Satanic Panic.
Right.
This is one of those guys that really set people into a tailspin. And so we're going to be talking about...
Why? He was setting acid to Jehovah's Witnesses? Or what the fuck was going on?
So this guy is a murderer.
Of what? Jehovah's Witnesses?
No.
Oh.
We're going to get into all of that.
Okay.
So, like I said like we talked about in our opening Satanic Panic episode, some of these things are ridiculous, right? We talked about cartoons and Monster Energy drinks.
I mean, on the cartoon part, I kind of understand now.
Felt a little weird.
Yeah.
But this was one of those ones that I could kind of see where people were concerned.
Okay.
And so we're talking about Ricky Casso. He's actually junior, but you never really hear the junior part coming in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so this kid was just a bad seed, right?
Okay.
He did listen to like AC/DC and Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, etc., etc.
Did he dance to Thunderstruck?
I'm pretty sure.
Like the Dallas cheerleaders?
So a lot of the...
If he's a fan, he should be a full-way fan.
Yeah, you would think, right? This is way back...
Before the cheerleaders?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were around. They're around. Yeah. This guy murdered in the 1980s, early 1980s.
You know, we should do a video on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
I agree with you. I really just haven't figured out an angle yet.
I think it's a cult.
That's a good angle.
That's the only angle.
I like that. Okay, so we're talking about this guy, right? And so when you talk about Satanists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Satanists often read the Book of Satan or follow some kind of cult or whatever. This guy was mostly intrigued by hard rock bands or heavy metal bands.
Which in some they do mention the devil a lot.
But it's not really a scholarly thing.
No, it's...
Imagine being religious because you like Taylor Swift. To me, that seems weird. Right? Like people that are religious usually go to church and they get a Bible and they learn Catholic school, whatever.
They practice.
They practice. Yeah. This guy is a Satanist because he listens to Ozzy Osbourne. I've listened to Ozzy Osbourne. Like that doesn't... Yeah,
that doesn't make you...
It's like it doesn't check out to me. But that's how this guy...
I listen to Thunderstruck. Yeah. Maybe that's... Wow. Think it's part of the Illuminati too?
Maybe it's all tied together. So this guy's listening to this hard rock.
So I gotta stop listening to Thunderstruck.
I don't think it has the power this guy thought it did.
Right.
So anyway, this kid's a bad kid. He's plays football, but he hates it, right? His dad's like really trying to push him into sports and be, you know how dads are, right?
Yeah, a religious kid. No, I'm sorry, a sporty kid.
Sporty kid, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like the sporty spice of the group, right?
The dad wants to be screaming at him for something.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this kid starts getting into drugs. And so he starts doing pot. He starts doing acid.
He goes through the process of experiencing.
Right. And he's doing PCP, etc.
Right.
So he starts calling himself the Acid King. So he starts selling acid, and he has a reputation in town of selling acid for the cheapest price of anybody.
Okay.
And by the way, just so you know where this is out on, I think it's on Long Island in New York, right?
Okay.
Northport, New York. So it's on the island out there. And so, like I said, this kid's into these heavy metal bands. He's dealing and taking drugs. He does a lot of PCP, which I've never done PCP, but the people that I do know that have taken it, they like almost always like it's such a bad experience for them,
Right.
that they like clean up their act because it's not a fun trip. From what I know, I don't know, right? But what I've heard is that like people will be tripping for like 3 days straight.
Oh shit!
And it's just like that's too much. Like, bring it back. Give me back the pot. Give me back. Right? It's a little too much.
Yeah.
I mean, we got lives to live, right? We can't be high for 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna get off 3 days out of the week.
I could do it. I could do it.
Being a TikToker, yeah, I get it.
Getting my job, I could do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this guy starts getting like his little clique together, right?
Yeah.
And they start calling themselves the Knights of the Black Circle.
The Knights?
Knights, yeah, of the Black Circle.
Like knights as in like fighters, like armor? Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Of the Dark Circle.
Starting to be a little cultish, right? And
I'm not to sound like a bitch or nothing. It sounds like a KKK.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess because the Knights part does kind of... The only thing is the black. So I don't think the KKK would do anything with black. But
if they're in a circle...
Yeah, it's true.
I mean... Who came up with... He came up with the name?
Yeah, he came up with all
this. They were
stuff.
talking as friends. They're like, we're the Knights of the Black Circle.
Yeah, so this is... I know that I'm going to sound homophobic in saying this, but Knights of the Black Circle sounds like a group of gay guys. So that wouldn't have been a name I would have picked. But
right.
I mean, I don't mean it to be hateful.
Knights of the Dark Circle.
Right. These are guys that like a certain kind of sex. Let's just say that. Right. Anyway,
Totally.
I don't know if that's what this was. I don't even know. To me, I'm with you. This isn't a great name. Right. I would have come up with something way scarier than that.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Circle to me is not really that scary. Knights seems a little old fashioned too.
Yeah. It sounds like a little princessy armory.
Right. Like these guys
like
are going to go.
Straight out of a, like if they read fucking, I don't know. Which one is it?
It seems like a little Shrekky to me, right? Like
right.
Like it's like Knights, Camelot. Like none of that's scary to me.
We're killing an ogre or some shit like that.
Right. Like these guys are gonna go fight a dragon. I don't know. Right. It sounds dumb. I wouldn't have used knights. What would I have used? I would have used.
I don't know.
Soldiers.
No.
I don't know.
No.
Doesn't ring.
Nothing works with the Dark Circle.
You can't use Dark Circle. See, if you say Dark Circle instead of Black Circle, you sound like you have bags under your eyes, right? That's not good either.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. Why couldn't they just call it? I don't know.
But you can't do it any other way either, right? Because you can't say the black triangles, because that sounds sexual too, right? You can't do that either. This is just.
What about Knights of the Moon?
That's not bad. But moon is a butt, so it still sounds sexual. And you really can't go anywhere. I don't know if I'm just in this mindset right now, but everything I'm thinking of is sounding sexual. Because I was like, go dark holes or, everything sounds bad.
Even Cowboys of the Holes. I mean,
Cowboys. Now that's something that doesn't sound gay at all. Right? Cowboys.
What about Astros of the Dark Circle? That would make more sense, right?
Astros of the dark circle.
Or the black circle. I don't know.
You know, it's really weird because I feel like we've come up with good names for our podcast and other things.
But
cults we're not good at. We're learning this about ourselves. We're not good at coming up with the cult name.
What about minions of the dark of the
minions
black circle?
I think you got to get away from the black circle because that's the part I can't.
I don't know.
What about instead of black circle, I would use like
white
evil soul.
Pink circle. Bleach circle.
The hairless circle. There's no circle doesn't work on any level, right? Circle doesn't work. It's got to be.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No,
okay, we're gonna move on because this is we're getting
a full hour.
We're getting into a deep hole here.
A deep dark circle.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I gotta stop.
In the middle of all of this, right, where he comes up with his cult name, right?
However they got it.
Yeah, he's dealing all these drugs, right, and taking the drugs too, right?
Sure.
And so they go out to. Well, before I get to the murder part, he gets arrested because he's digging up a grave in like a historical cemetery.
Okay.
Because he just wants the skull.
Which one? The one here in Brownsville?
Well, this one's in Long Island. It's close, right? You're close. But he ends up getting arrested for trying to steal a skull from like this historical cemetery.
Did he have a reason or just?
He wanted to do something with the skull. It doesn't say here, and they didn't really get into it.
What, put it in the dark circle?
Maybe. It sounds right.
And the knights around it?
Yeah. It makes me wonder what the knights were doing at night. Could also be bad.
Right.
So at this time, he gets sick, right? He gets arrested, but then he gets sick. And his parents are kind of trying to get him to be sent to a mental hospital.
Okay.
Right? Because he's already starting to do a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean, once you go to the cemetery and start digging up a grave and trying to get a skull,
it's
I'd
not
say,
normal behavior.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd say like, yeah, draw a line, not a circle.
Right. So when they go to the doctor, he ends up saying, well, this guy's not crazy. Like, he's just a normal kid, right? And they're like, I don't know about that. Right? And
who evaluated him?
It doesn't say the doctor's name here.
Is he? We gotta find that out. Is he certified? He's out here letting people out. Like, no, you're okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So I think at one point he does get put away for a little while.
And the doctor's like, oh, yeah, that's what's wrong with him.
But then the doctor is convinced, like he tricks the doctors into thinking like he's going to be good from now on, right?
It's like, I won't do it again, guys. This is a joke.
I promise I won't be stealing no more skulls.
You didn't see that I was playing?
Yeah. I just wanted to see if I was going to get caught. Right.
I just wanted to see if you were snitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see if your friends would tattle on me.
I just wanted to see how good of a doctor you were.
Right. So, after all of this, he's out with his friends.
Right.
They go out in the woods, right?
To do what? Him and the knights?
Yeah. They're going to go, the knights are going to go out into the woods and they're going to do...
horses.
And they're going to...
Horses.
Oh, man. I wish this guy was alive for you to laugh at him.
So what do you guys got? Their armor ready? Like,
yeah.
Come on, guys. Let's go. Get the horses.
So they're partying, right? These guys are partying. And this guy, his name is Rick, right? We talked about this. Mm-hmm. He passes out. And one of his friends, whose name's Gary, steals 10 packs, little baggies of PCP. And when the guy wakes up, they tell his other friends, tell him, hey, this guy stole your drugs. They didn't stop him. And so the guy
didn't hear the armor moving around.
Yeah. So the guy gets mad, right?
Right.
He goes and he tells the guy, hey, man, you got to give me my drugs back or you got to buy them from me. And the guy's like, I didn't do it. Right. So he beats him up like really bad. And the guy goes, okay. I stole your drugs, but I only have 5 of the 10 bags left.
Oh, shit.
Right. Because I guess he took the other 5. And he's like, I'll borrow some money to pay you back. Guess how much money? Just guess how much money. 5 bags.
5 packs.
Back in the 80s, right? We're talking about 1984.
Crack was popping.
Right. And this is PCP. 5 bags of PCP.
Fuck.
He's going to have to borrow the money. Think about how much money do you think this is worth?
5 bags.
Yeah.
How many grams? You know?
So it doesn't say how many grams. It just purple micro dots, I guess, is what they're talking about.
Man, what the fuck is that?
I don't know what any of this.
Okay.
5 bags.
Just a random number. I'll put it at 800.
Okay. So
I'm putting a deal for a wholesale, like 5 packs on the spot, you know?
Mm-hmm. A little bit high. It's $50. Right?
Man.
$50 the guy owes.
So I'm just saying, I was born in the 2000s. Inflation has gotten pretty bad.
It's bad. We used to buy 5 bags of drugs for $50. And now how much are they? I don't know. I don't know how much they are.
I don't know.
But I'm sure our fans know. They can let us know in the comments, right?
Tell us how much per gram and
how much details. How much would I get for 5 bags of PCP?
But that's the thing. How big were the bags?
It didn't say it just says 5 bags. I think that's a measurement, 10 PCP bags.
Man, let me look it up. 10 PCP bags.
So 5, right? Because he gave 5.
That's true.
He gave 5 back, so he owes 5. So this guy just keeps beating his friend up, right? He keeps beating up Gary. And so at one point they decide they're going to go back out camping again, right? Mm-hmm. And this time it's colder, right? And they start running out of like wood to put in the fire.
Right.
So this guy, Ricky, he's like, let's throw your jacket in there. And the guy's like, no, man, come on. No, man. You know how guys are, right? No, man, right? And he's like, I'll cut off my sleeves and you can throw in my sleeves.
Right.
Like, all right, we'll do that. And then they go, you know what? Let's do your hair. So the other 2 guys, there's 4 of them. Mm-hmm. The other 2 guys hold him down. And he pulls a knife out of his pocket.
Right.
And he cuts the guy's hair and he throws it in the fire. Right. And he starts beating the guy up. And the guy, just for fun, right?
Okay.
And the guy, Gary, says, man, I feel like you're trying to hurt me, man. Like you just want to getting off hurting me. Mm-hmm. And the guy says.
And he jerks off.
No.
Oh.
Close. But he says, I don't want to hurt you, man. I want to kill you. Oh. And when he says that, there's some crows overhead. And they all go, caw, caw.
Oh.
Right?
Right.
And the guy says to himself that noise means Satan is happy with what he said and wants him to kill this guy.
Oh.
Right? Of course, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you're the bird expert. I don't know.
So to me, that's not what it means. But this guy believes it so much that he ends up killing this guy, killing Gary, right?
Right. And
so remember,
I mean, you're the bird expert, but he's the bird whisperer.
Right.
I would say.
I don't talk to birds.
You know about birds.
I know birds. I know a lot of birds.
Right.
I'm friends with birds.
Did you talk with the crows that were around at that time?
I don't talk to these crows. And by the way, these birds, we don't have them here. So I'm not really familiar.
Oh. You haven't studied that part.
Right. This is in the New England area. Those birds, I'm not as familiar with them.
Right.
So he starts killing this guy. Mm-hmm. Starts stabbing him with this little bitty pocket knife. Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's going to hurt.
Yeah. And he's stabbing him like in his face too, right? So he gouges out his eyes.
Oh, fuck.
And he's like stabbing him in his face and in his chest. And he keeps telling the guy, say you love Satan. Say you love Satan.
Why the fuck would he say that if he's the one killing him?
So the guy that's killing him is saying, say you love Satan.
Right.
Say you love Satan. And the guy on the bottom says, I love my mom. I love my mom. Right? That's what he's saying instead. Because he doesn't want to say I love Satan. Right? So he ends up killing him.
What if his mom is Satan?
It's hard to say. Stories never really went down that. But maybe.
Specific.
Yeah. Maybe. And so he ends up killing him to death. Right?
I think that's the definition.
Killed him.
Killing someone.
He killed him to death.
Right.
Right?
Imagine getting killed just to
to die at the end. Yeah.
Right.
So he kills this guy. And so this is the part that you kind of...
What, that he died?
A little bit hard to get your head around, right?
Why?
Because I think the other two guys that were holding him down...
They were still holding him?
Yeah, they held him while he kills him, right?
Okay.
I think, and we'll go into why I think this later, I think they forgot that they helped kill somebody. Because they were so high.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody goes back to their life.
Mm-hmm.
Gets back to normal. Blah, blah, blah.
Off the trip.
They go back home. Problem number one. This kid, Gary... By the way, he's only like 17 at the time.
Oh shit.
So Gary's not an adult, really, right?
No.
So they murder him. They go back to their lives. Problem number one is Gary often runs away.
Right.
So the parents are like, well, they're
a teenage kid, right?
Fucking ran away again.
Yeah.
So nobody's looking for him.
Right.
Well, Ricky starts telling people that he killed him.
Oh.
And everybody's like, you know what? You do that Satan stuff. It's all make-believe. Mm-hmm. We don't believe you.
Right.
The other guys are like, I don't know if we did. I don't know if he did. Like, they're not really clear.
They don't know, what was reality and what wasn't.
Right. So Ricky starts taking people to the woods.
Oh.
To show them.
Did he take the doctor too?
He didn't take the doctor. But he takes
allegedly.
He takes people out there to show them the dead body. Mm-hmm. The first person he shows, the first person thinks it's like a cat or something.
A cat?
Yeah, he's like...
How are you going to confuse a body?
I'm not 100% sure about that.
How big of a cat?
Big. Some cats get big. But a couple more people. Oh, and then, forgot to mention this part. A young girl calls the police. And she says...
There's a big cat dead on the side.
She says, the woods. Ricky... Whatever's his last name, Casso killed Gary Lowers and left him in the woods.
Okay.
And the policeman goes, what's your name? Click. She hangs up. So then the policeman goes, prank call. Right?
What would it be a prank if they're saying like real names and stuff?
Yeah.
And he's already on the record.
Yeah. He already has a record at this point.
Yeah.
They probably shouldn't have thought it was a prank. And even if it was a prank, they should have probably
double checked.
Went out there, checked, right? They didn't. So later, people start telling the police, Ricky told me he killed Gary.
Right.
And then he took me
to
and showed me where it is. And they're like, what? Are you pranking me? You know. And so then they get these cadaver dogs and they go out there and they find the body.
Right.
They say that when they grabbed the body and they picked it up, the head fell off because it had been out there so long. But it still had the clothes, still had everything like that.
So how are you going to tell me they thought that was a cat?
So that I don't understand either, right? Because he's wearing like an AC/DC shirt.
Right.
Like I don't know any cats that wear AC/DC shirts at all, right? So anyways. So then they say, you know what? This guy's the main suspect. They arrest him.
Oh, maybe because he cut off his hair. That's why they didn't recognize him.
Maybe. They did say that when they went out there, the face was pretty much gone completely. Of course, he did stab him in the face a whole bunch of times.
But the short hair?
And then the short hair.
They're like, no way, that's scary.
Doesn't look like him.
Right.
And so when they take him to...
Gary didn't have those eyes.
Yeah. So they arrest him.
Right.
And they arrest the two friends.
Right.
Right away, the two friends, they confess. They did it. Right. And the other guy, the one this story's about, Ricky, he's like, it was really the other guys.
Oh.
Right. And so everybody's kind of like, well, you're the one that's saying that you did it.
You.
Yeah. It's the whole Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
So they arrest him.
Uh-huh.
Funny little thing happens in jail.
What?
Ricky kills himself right away.
Man.
Yeah.
So he was out here killing people, and once he
He
killed
killed one person,
that's it.
gets caught, kills himself right away.
I mean, he got caught. Like,
yeah.
He literally put it like right on the table.
And so then everybody knows what's happened, and they kind of retrace the steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they go back to the people, the guys who confessed, right?
Right.
And they're like, so tell us again what happened. And they give a completely different story.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, he's already dead.
He is dead.
What is he going to say? I didn't do it.
Yeah. So then they go back, third time. Tell us again what happened. It's another completely different story. Three different stories that are completely different. So there's this quote where they asked, I think his name was Jimmy, the one who was supposedly holding the guy down, holding Gary down. And they ask him, why is your story changing all the time? Like, what's the deal with that? And he says, when the trees and the stars are melting, it's hard to remember what was real. So like they're just tripping balls out there.
Yeah.
Right. End up going.
But you're going to tell me you were tripping balls and just held someone down while they were screaming, I love my mom. And the other one saying, say you love the devil.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what they said. This is exactly what they said. That's exactly what they did. Right. So then, by the way, this all happened on July 4th too. So around this time of year.
Like a month.
Yeah, this month. Oh, we're recording. We're recording this.
I keep forgetting.
I forget. Yeah. So then they take this guy, the other one, Jimmy. They take him to trial because he's the only one alive that was for sure part of this, right?
Right.
And they try to charge him with second-degree murder. Well, when he's on the stand, he's not making any sense. Because he doesn't remember this, he doesn't remember that. He thinks that there's a lion from a circus that escaped in the woods. It's just crazy stories. So he gets off. So nobody went to prison for this. Fast forward a few years, and this guy, Jimmy.
So they don't even hold them?
Nothing happened to any of them. Well, the one guy killed himself.
Right.
But like the other guys got off.
Man's fucking.
Yeah.
They still held him?
Yes, they did. But apparently they couldn't really prove it because they were their own witnesses, I guess, or their stories were supposed to be used against them, but their stories didn't make any sense.
Still hold them, because why the fuck wouldn't they know? If they give you a straight story of I didn't do it, okay.
Which they never did.
Exactly.
Right.
They never denied it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then I don't remember. Something happened with this guy, Jimmy, where he was arrested sometime like in the early 2000s.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the other guy, right? Let me see if I can get this quickly.
Jimmy.
So the only thing that popped up was the original trial. I guess it was an important case.
But it was just one trial and done?
Yeah.
Man, this sucks.
So let's see if I can. Did he die?
I'll put some music while you do that. It's okay.
So anyway, he got in trouble again.
Yeah.
Apparently it looks like he's on Instagram, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But he got off. So did his other friend. Nobody was really
Sentenced.
I mean, I guess the one guy died, right? So that's like one part.
But still.
Yeah. And so in our episode that we recorded not too long ago, the murderer or alleged murderer of Vanessa Guillen also killed himself.
Yeah.
It really leaves
the other girl.
It's
but
just like
they're sentencing her.
So she did get sentenced. She got sentenced, I think, 20 or 30 years, something like that. But what I mean is there's something that leaves it like unfulfilled, I guess is the way to say it. Like when the bad guy kills themselves.
Yeah, and you don't get, I guess it's more the thing of like, you don't get the real version of what happened.
The whole story,
or the
right.
details of like why.
I feel that way also when they plead guilty.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't have to say
nothing
what happened.
Else. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, and they just go away. And
I think it's the chismosa in me that wants to know.
I mean, I guess that's part of it, but I think there is something more to being closure, right?
Like they why? Why? Or I mean, why the fuck would she even think of just stabbing someone in the face? Like,
yeah, I mean, this is what I think in this particular case, right? I think
I hate people, right? Like, there's people I don't fuck with or don't like them at all and stuff, but I don't think of stabbing them on the face.
Where do you think of stabbing them?
Not in the face. I think it would be too obvious, right? But
yeah, I don't know if I could bring myself to stabbing somebody.
I mean, I do carry like a pocket knife, but it's not like I'm stabbing people out here
yet. So as a person who's been in a lot of fights, there is a situation that happens quite a bit when you're younger and fighting for the first time. I have been punched in the face and the person that hit me like freezes up. Like they get scared that they actually
hit someone,
punched me in the face. And I've also seen it the other way where I've punched people and they just freeze. Right.
Yeah.
And you didn't knock them out.
Right.
But
they were like, I think that's in their brain, like they're hoping like to see something and they don't see it happen. And it's like, wait.
Yeah.
Like, what's the next move? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. That's why I never got in fights. I think I blacked out a lot.
So my point is in bringing this up.
I mean, my adrenaline wouldn't go as much to stabbing someone. I don't think.
My point is that like when these people who've never been in a fight punch you in the face and they freeze, when you stab somebody for the first time, how do you not freeze there too? Do you know what I mean? Like that's so much worse than punching somebody.
Yeah, he for sure had to get something. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like some type of adrenaline that kicks in.
This is what I think.
And he was high.
He was high, yes. And this is what I think with this particular
But how come he remembered most of the...
Maybe he wasn't that high.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he was all there. High.
So I think this guy, like, in his mind, like, fantasized about all this stuff, right? And because, you know, you're talking about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders listening to Thunderstruck. That's the same music this guy's getting inspired to murder. That music doesn't...
No, and the girls are over here shaking pom-poms. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do that, right? That music is not...
kicking legs up high and stuff. Yeah.
And so he had to put something into that music that wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right? That was something that was inside of him, not really in the music, right?
Right.
And so I don't think it had anything to do with the music, really. Like I said, if the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are listening to the same music...
Yeah, they're not over here. Well, we don't know that they're killing someone or stabbing.
It wasn't in the special.
Right.
Right. In
They
the
didn't cover
series.
that
They
part.
didn't cover any. Allegedly, there's no killing from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, even though they do listen to AC/DC, clearly.
A lot.
In
practice.
It's a big deal with them.
Yeah.
So I think this guy was just evil, and he like created.
He
this stuff.
added that spice into.
And I do think too, because
his cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people that enjoy other people being scared or other people being uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I think he was just using all this to kind of fuck with people. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so if he was a real serial killer or really as evil as he pretended to be, I think he wouldn't have killed himself. And I think he would have killed more people.
For sure.
I
think he just panicked, to be honest. Like it was.
I don't know.
He knew. I think he knew as a young age, and he didn't do a whole legacy of. You know how serial killers go through a whole bunch of
right, like
killing, and they get their name, they get their nickname, they get this, they get the fame and all this extra stuff.
Yeah,
this guy kind of didn't.
No, he definitely didn't. He came up with his own nickname,
his own club,
his own little cult. His silly little cult. The other thing,
one
too.
dead body, which was his friend.
Right. That was high.
Yeah.
How hard is it to kill somebody that's high? It's not that hard.
I don't think so.
I mean, if they're almost passed out.
Right. And bald.
Well, yeah, because they cut his hair. And so the other thing that this guy, he would talk about, like that he was suicidal, and he would think of killing yourself as being like the next level of getting high. So I think he was kind of already programmed, like he was going to kill himself eventually.
But after one body, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's a little lazy. So let's see how long he died when he was 17 years old when he died. So he was young.
I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to deal with his dad telling him like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, and also he didn't want to play football anymore.
Right. His dad would have been like, "I told you to play football instead of be out here doing drugs
and murdering people."
Yeah.
So I think we can see like this. If this happened in the valley,
don't do drugs,
and people would be like, "This guy's a Satanist."
Do drugs. Stay in your house.
By yourself.
Yeah. Don't take your friends.
Don't do drugs.
Take their hair or take their eyes out.
Don't do drugs with other people or outside of your house with other people. I think it's a less catchy slogan.
Yeah.
But it's more accurate.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself.
Don't make a club. Don't come up with nicknames.
And definitely don't be doing these homophobic names, because that's uncalled for in these.
Stop listening to Thunderstruck.
So I could see if this happened in the valley and he said it was because he was told by Satan, that would be scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Not like cartoons and
Smart.
Soda drinks and things, right? So I get this one.
Soda drinks.
Like Monster. People are scared of Monster drinks.
Energy drinks.
Because it's like, oh, the devil. Right.
I mean, how Red Bull is not devilish? I don't think it is. It has wings.
Yeah, I mean, that's close enough, I think.
What?
I think so.
I guess. All right.
That's it for today. Follow us on all of our socials. We are on YouTube. We are on iTunes, Spotify,
Apple Music,
wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever.
We're on Facebook, TikTok. Do we have an Instagram? No, right?
No, we have to work on that.
We don't have an Instagram, but we will talk to you all next week.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye, guys.